My, oh my, can you believe we are already a quarter of the way through the 2018 NFL season? Week 5 is here, 4 weeks in the books. And I gotta admit, to each and every one of you guys out there listening, I don't know too much more than I did 4 weeks ago. That's what little I've learned in the last 4 weeks. It seems like these teams are unpredictable as ever, honestly. I mean, when I went into the season, I thought the NFC was going to look like the better conference. But I'm looking at the top 10 teams in the NFL here on the Week 5 Power Rankings, and it's AFC heavy. So what in the hell did I know anyway? So look, I take this thing week by week. I admit, some of these teams are going to be up. Next week they're down. That's just the way the wheel rolls on the top 10 NFL Power Rankings here on the Say What You Like Sports podcast. But let me get into it without any further ado. So in at number 10, another team that continually makes me look like an idiot because I'm always predicting how bad they're going to be. I'm talking about the Tennessee Titans. I mean, when I look at the Titans, I have no reason to believe they're an elite team, but yet here they are at 3-1 and looking elite as far as the record goes. I mean, I look at Marcus Mariota, who's a quarterback that I just don't believe in here in the NFL. I watched this dude play in the Pac-12 week in and week out on Saturdays, and he was impressive, but it was an entirely different type of football. It was an entirely different type of scheme. In the NFL, I see Marcus Mariota throwing for little to no yards, not throwing for very many touchdowns, and just not moving the ball effectively. But yet, you know, the Titans have a great defense and a decent running game, and even though they're playing merry-go-round with the coaches, here they are. I gotta call it. Hey, Tennessee, you are a top 10 team in the NFL after 4 weeks. In at number 9, the team that shut out the Buffalo Bills this weekend. I'm talking about the Green Bay Packers. Now, I might as well refer to this team as the Aaron Rodgers team. But it's funny because although the Green Bay Packers shut out the Bills, good for the defense, it's Aaron Rodgers who's taking his disappointment with the offense to the media, leaving Mike McCarthy to try to answer all the tough questions. Now, I gotta admit, this offense isn't humming like we all thought it would. We expected the Aaron Rodgers to Jimmy Graham connection to really be cracking, but it really hasn't. I think they only have one touchdown together. But still, at this point, I think it's just a matter of injuries. Rodgers himself, you know, he's been a little banged up early on in the season. I think it's just a matter of time until this offense finds its rhythm and hums along and gets back into the playoffs. Green Bay in at number 9. In at number 8, the New England Patriots. Man, the New England Patriots at number 8. I gotta admit, I have them here because they look kind of shaky. And I think this offense really, really misses Brandon Cooks. That big play, deep threat, just, I think, really kept the defenses on their toes. And we're seeing these defenses really press Brady in that pocket without that threat out there. But help is on the way. Julian Edelman is all set to return from his 4-game suspension, and Gronk's ankle injury looks minor, so I think we're going to start to see the New England Patriots that we all know and hate to be back climbing up the power rankings here in 2018. Talking about what little I know after 4 weeks into the 2018 NFL season, talk about something that we all didn't see coming. In at number 7, the Bears. Can you believe it? The Chicago Bears, man. Can you believe Mitchell Trubisky? The Bears are 3-1, leading the NFC North, a team that I predicted in the preseason to finish last. And yet, a quarter of the way, here they are leading the way in the NFC North. Trubisky, let's get back to that. 354 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, And he's not even the best player on the team, because if I had to vote right now, I think Khalil Mack might be my MVP. In at number 6, I have Joe Flacco's Baltimore Ravens. Now, here's a team in the preseason that I thought had a chance to be a contender in the AFC, so good on that, good on that. One of the few I actually got right. They take the victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers 26-14 this weekend, but I gotta admit, for as good as that must feel, I don't think Pittsburgh is any longer that team to beat in the AFC North. I think it might just be that next team up, the Cincinnati Bengals, who I have at number 5, eking out in front of Baltimore since they took the win a few weeks back on Thursday Night Football. And Andy Dalton to AJ Green looks like a very, very dangerous combo. I wanted to call them the best combo so far, but I think Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and that group over there might have them beat. Now, Tyler Eifert, you know what? If I could keep this dude healthy, he would be one of the top tight ends in the league. It's just a shame that he's always hurt. He went down with a sick ankle foot injury. And you know what? I'm sure he's out for the season at this point. And I think we got to see how these Cincinnati Bengals on offense adjust, because Eifert was definitely probably the second best, most reliable weapon after AJ Green. In at number 4 is a team where a lot of people out there still have their doubts about this team being a true contender. But the more I watch this team play, week after week after week, I'm more impressed. I'm talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look, Leonard Fournette's hamstring really does have me worried going forward. We know how much this Jacksonville Jaguars team loves to run the rock. But I gotta admit it. I gotta be the one to say it. I know I'm going to be called names. I can read the comments now. But Blake Bortles is improving week after week after week. I think he's seen the field better. I think his footwork is getting better week after week. And I think it's showing. Look at the numbers. They're starting to become steady. He's no longer that inaccurate, inconsistent quarterback that he was a couple of years ago. And you know what? I'm not saying he's a top 5 or top 10 quarterback, far from it. But when you put that defense, and if Leonard Fournette can get healthy, I think this is a team to be reckoned with in the playoffs this year. In at number 3 is an offensive juggernaut. This team just puts up points on the board. I'm talking about that combination of Sean Payton, Drew Brees, and Alvin Kamara. They have this team at 3-1 and atop the NFC South. I'm talking about the New Orleans Saints. And I know the Saints are going to be putting up plenty of points and plenty more yards, but Drew Brees is about to hit a historic mark. He has just a little over 200 yards to pass for this weekend, and he will overtake Peyton Manning as the NFL's all-time leading passer. Salute to you, Drew Brees. In at number 2, a team that I walked away from this Monday Night Football game even more impressed than I was the previous 3 weeks. I'm talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. And more importantly, Patrick Mahomes. And I know the hype train is getting out of control with Mahomes, but the more and more I watch him, I just come away even more impressed. I mean, I really haven't seen a first-year starting QB perform like this since Aaron Rodgers. I gotta say it. He has the mobility. He has the arm strength. You know what? He takes care of the ball, and that was the knock on him. Patrick Mahomes will throw you a few every game, and he's not. I've seen him pull the ball back when he sees his, receiver slip, or when he sees that the DB's got the step. He'll pull it back, and he'll sprint out of the pocket, fling the ball down 50 yards, and win a game. He was doing that this Monday night. I think that Denver defense was very impressive. but Patrick Mahomes was just a little bit more impressive, and that's why I got these Chiefs in at number 2. And man, I think it's real close between the number 2 team, but I gotta give the edge to the number 1 team on the top 10 Week 5 Say What You Like NFL Power Rankings, the Los Angeles Rams. Now, I talked up Patrick Mahomes, and quite honestly, the only other quarterback that I can say has equally impressed me at this point, Jared Goff. We were talking about Dak the first year, then Carson Wentz the second year, but I think so far in 2018, Jared Goff has taken the cake from that draft class. 465 yards, 5 touchdowns on just 33 attempts. So big play after big play. And people want to talk about, oh, it's Sean McVay's scheme. It's McVay's scheme. You know what? Goff is throwing dimes. The ball placement is unreal. I am completely sold on Jared Goff at this point. And as far as the Rams go, I mean, this team is legit. It's a contender. It's complete. I can't say enough good things about the Rams. And I think that as far as just chemistry goes, they got a nice mixture of veterans and youngsters to go along with coaching and now the quarterback. I think this team is the total package, and that's why I have them number 1 here in Week 5 on the Say What You Like Sports Podcast Top 10 NFL Power Rankings. Peace out, everybody.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.